Good morning and welcome again to Wellbeing Wednesday. And long time no see, in person, in the garden, talking all things wellbeing with Lex McKee. Delighted. And today we're going to talk about two halves of a brain.
We are, aren't we? We'll talk about two brains, actually. Some people call it the two brains. There was a funny film with Steve Martin and Kathleen Turner. I'm trying to remember if Kathleen Turner ever appears in it, because it was the man with two brains, and he rescues her brain from an accident and develops this romance with this brain. So there's funny things like him rowing in a boat with a brain in a jar.
I think if it's the film I'm thinking of, I think it was just her voice.
It was Silly Billy. But close to the truth, because whilst the two hemispheres of our brain are joined together by the corpus callosum, this banana-like shaped thing of fibres that talk to both the wrinkly bits, when that's severed, as they used to do in certain cases of epilepsy, so if you severed the corpus callosum, the severity of the seizures was lessened, and that gave some Nobel Prize winning research opportunities to people that talk about the left brain and the right brain. And it's oversimplified, but for today it's what we need, because if you want a sense of well-being, you need a future. And what's a future?
Future is visual. For me, my future is what I see for myself.
So we talk about a vision of the future,
Yes.
don't we? And most people have a very, very powerfully developed left hemisphere, which we do know is associated with language, because God forbid, but if you have a stroke in the left hemisphere, it can often knock out the speech centre. So there's this very verbal brain here in the left, which we are very experienced at using.
Yeah. You saying I talk too much?
I'm saying that many of us can talk ourselves out of a happy future from our internal dialogue and our external dialogue. Oh, this always happens to me, etc. And emotional well-being is about emotional mastery. It's about learning to control your dialogue externally and internally. But fascinatingly, this one doesn't get much of a say, which is quite funny, because we're talking about pictures here.
Yeah.
Doesn't get a look in.
Yep.
It does in your dreams. Do you have bizarre dreams? But not necessarily as much as it could. So we've gone through life with our left hand free, and our right hand, for most of us, tied by our side for decades, years or decades, maybe your whole life, where we're not using consciously our visual brain to support what the left brain does. So there's this tug of war going on. Now, maybe you've learned positive affirmations and you're talking about a better future and you've imagined that with your words. But if your visual brain is seeing a dismal, dark, gloomy future, the visual brain, even though it's not developed consciously, will win.
But am I right? In children, we do develop that. We do consciously develop that, because we always encourage children to imagine this and imagine that. But as we grow up, as we get older, it's like we lose that ability. We lose the ability to imagine ourselves having the future that we want to have.
Kids daydream all the time. They get told off at school for daydreaming. It's such a brilliant skill. So all we're going to say today is, let's free up that right hand, the right hemisphere, although your right hemisphere controls your left hand, but that's another story. Let's keep it simple. Let's free up the visual brain consciously to make compelling pictures of the future that agree with the compelling words you're saying about your future. And if you have those two engines working together, then you are going to get much better consistent results faster. But as soon as they go in different directions, this one wins.
So I often talk about retiring to Cornwall with a little dog, going out every day for a little walk on the beach and things like that. So really, if I just talk about it, I'm halving my opportunity to get that. But if I talk about it and also visualise it, then all of my brain is pulling in the direction to get to Cornwall with my little dog.
Yep.
That sounds straightforward enough to me.
And the key is seeing yourself in Cornwall now in your imagination, living the dream. So we actually live the dream that we want.
Yep.
You're walking the dog, dog's at your side, you're throwing a ball, one of those wonderful catcher things.
Yep.
The more you can see yourself in the vision, active visualization rather than passive. So I'm a great fan of vision boards. Vision boards are a great way to start the process. Maybe a desktop saver, screensaver,
Yep.
where you have the vision of the future. But until you live that vision, become an active person, that you are not using the full power of this engine. So are we allowed to mix loads of metaphors? These are like two huskies pulling a sledge.
Yeah,
Of your life.
yeah.
If this husky goes that way and that one goes that way, you're going to have trouble. If both the huskies go, come on, let's go to the
Going
future,
right, yeah,
it's going to be a great.
great ride.
So hope is a positive vision of the future, active visualization, backed up by your affirmations in the present tense. So I am a successful writer, I love writing, I love what I write. The right people love what I write, and I get well paid for it. It's all
Yep.
in the present tense.
Yep.
Get a vision of that. I see the royalty checks coming in with a nice sum on them. Live the vision, say the words, and at least you're rewiring your brain then for success.
So really, when you're sat at work and you're imagining where you want to be in 10 years' time, whether that's in a beach in Barbados, a little cottage in Cornwall, or whatever, and your boss says to you, pay attention to what you're doing, the perfect answer is actually, boss, I am.
You are paying attention. Yes, I seem to have quite a forgetful mind, but I never have an idle mind. My mind is always working hard for me. So it's a good servant. We need to program it. Now, the interesting thing about visualization is the left.
Oh, it doesn't shut up.
That's what I call the fanatic in the attic.
Yeah.
If you want to rewire the brain, we've got to quieten that for a bit. And the way to do that is to have a relaxed body. We're back out in the sunshine, thankfully, in the garden for probably 6 months ago. I don't know the last time we did
more than that. It's forever ago.
So this is a really nice opportunity for the body to go, do you know, I've got this, I'm really relaxed.
Yep.
We've thought about what we're going to share, so there's not the mental chatter. That's the state. Body relaxed, plenty of energy. Your brain needs a ton of energy to visualize. Your brain's 2.5% of your body weight.
Yep.
It takes 25% of your oxygen. It's an energy hog for good reason, because it creates your future. So if you can get into a place where you've got relaxed body but plenty of energy to visualize and a quiet mind, then we're talking about rewiring the brain really quickly. So if you did this before you went to sleep at night, it's quite likely to not work, because the more you relax your body and there's not much energy there, you're going to go to sleep.
Unless you're Einstein.
Yeah.
Who had a really cheeky trick. We like cheeky tricks.
It's Edison.
Oh, was it Edison? Well, I'm no Einstein, so obviously
We did
it was
rehearse
Edison.
some of this. Edison came up with more patents, I think, than anybody else. Had realised the power of the relaxed mind to visualise and imagine. So he would sit in his comfy chair and relax with a bunch of keys in his hand. And if he did fall asleep, then the keys would fall down on the ground. Churchill was another one who was really into active visualisation. And he used to lay on an oak table, so it was really uncomfortable. But then he could do his da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm sure Einstein would have done something as well.
Yeah. I had that moment there. Do I correct you, because I don't like a smart ass?
No, absolutely.
But I wasn't being a smart ass.
No,
It was Edison.
I never pretend to be Einstein or a smart ass. I'm a bus driver at heart.
Yes, we get places and we get people with us,
Absolutely.
and we need a bit of help, don't we?
We do. Talking about that, I know it's like really, really bad manners to actually plug your own YouTube site or channel, as I keep being told. But on this occasion, I'm just going to have to, okay? Because we need people to sign up to my YouTube channel so that we can get the message out there, so we can get the word out there. I never was a great one for manners other than pleases and thank yous. So please sign up for the YouTube channel, and thank you very much.
Once Sandy gets to 1,000, and we've got enough time to squeeze this in, we get different metrics, so we can see if we're meeting your needs. So please sign up and click on that notifications bell.
And that's the bit that Einstein understands. Have a great Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.